Right now, you are using a Muslim invention. You woke up this morning and checked the time. Muslim invention. You washed your face with soap. Muslim invention. You drank coffee to wake up. Muslim invention. And you are watching this video through a camera. Muslim invention. Every single one. But before we go back 1,000 years, hit subscribe right now because this channel is just getting started on history's greatest turning points. You don't want to miss what comes next. To understand why this mattered so much, you have to understand what the world actually looked like. While Europe was stumbling through the Dark Ages, where most people could not read or write, where a simple infection meant death, somewhere else on Earth, an entirely different story was being written. Baghdad. Year 830. The House of Wisdom. Beit al-Hikmah. The largest library on Earth. 500,000 books. Scientists, translators, doctors, and engineers from every religion working under one roof. They didn't just preserve old knowledge. They invented the future. Let that sink in for a moment. Let's start with the one you already use today. Coffee. You think coffee is from Starbucks? From Italy? No. It was discovered by a goat herder in Yemen around the year 850. His name was Khaldi, and he noticed something strange. His goats were dancing, literally jumping after eating red berries from a wild tree. He took those berries to the Sufi monks in the mountains. The monks boiled them to stay awake for their all-night prayers. And it worked. They stayed awake. They prayed longer. From Yemen, it went to Mecca, to Cairo, to Istanbul. The Ottomans built the first coffee houses in the world. They called them schools of the wise, because men would sit for hours, talking, debating, sharing ideas, over a cup of black, bitter coffee. Venetian traders were stunned. They took it to Europe, and Europe got addicted. Without Muslim Sufis trying to stay awake to pray, your morning would not exist. Muslim invention. Now, look into the lens that is recording you. The camera. The man who invented it was punished for being too smart. His name was Ibn al-Haytham. Born in Basra in 965, he was called to Cairo by a mad caliph who wanted him to control the floods of the Nile. Ibn al-Haytham said, "This is impossible." The caliph got furious. To save his own life, Ibn al-Haytham pretended to be insane. The caliph locked him in a dark room for 10 years. 10 years in darkness. Let that land. But in that darkness, he saw a light. A tiny ray of light came through a small hole in the wall, and on the opposite wall, the outside world appeared. Upside down. Trees. People. The sky. He called it camera obscura. Dark room. He realized, light travels in straight lines. Vision does not come from our eyes. Light enters into our eyes. He wrote it all down in his book of optics, Kitab al-Manazir. 7 volumes. This book was taught in Europe for 400 years. Leonardo da Vinci copied from it. Johannes Kepler built on it. Every camera, every phone, every eyeglass starts in that dark prison cell in Cairo. Muslim invention. Now, let's get a little personal. When was the last time you washed your hands with soap? Used shampoo? Before Muslims, Europe did not wash. Soap as you know it, hard bars, mixed with oils and scents, was perfected in 8th century Baghdad. Alchemists like Al-Kindi made recipes for it. They wrote down olive oil, alkali, perfume. An Andalusian polymath named Ziriab, he brought it to Spain. He invented daily hygiene, toothpaste, deodorant, shampoo. He even invented the idea of changing clothes by season. While Europeans thought bathing made you sick, Muslims were required to wash 5 times a day before prayer. And it didn't stop at soap. To understand this, you have to understand the hospital. In 805, in Baghdad, the first modern hospital was built. The Bimaristan. Not just a place to die, a place to heal. It had separate wards for different diseases. It had a pharmacy. It had doctors who had to pass an exam to work. Students were trained there. In Cairo, the Al-Mansuri Hospital had 8,000 beds. It treated everyone free. Muslim, Christian, Jew, rich or poor. There were even mobile hospitals carried by camels to reach villages. In Europe at this same time, the hospital was a monk praying over you. So the next time you wash your hands or walk into a clean hospital, you are walking into a Muslim invention. You have a map in your pocket right now. Google Maps. But 900 years ago, if you were a king, you had no real map of the world. One man gave us the world. Al-Idrisi, born in 1100. He worked for King Roger II in Sicily, a Christian king who hired a Muslim genius. For 15 years, Al-Idrisi interviewed travelers, sailors, and merchants. He collected every piece of knowledge. And in 1154, he created the Tabula Rogeriana, the most accurate map of the world for the next 300 years. He mapped Africa. He mapped Europe. He mapped the mountains where the Nile begins, which Europeans wouldn't discover for another 700 years. And to navigate using that map, sailors used another Muslim invention, the astrolabe, perfected by Muslim astronomers. A handheld computer of brass. You could hold it to the stars and know where you are, what time it is, which direction is Mecca. Without the astrolabe, Columbus never crosses the ocean. Vasco da Gama never reaches India. Christopher Columbus actually sailed using maps and ideas copied from Muslim geographers. Your phone's GPS is just a faster astrolabe. Muslim invention. This last one is the most shocking. If you have ever had surgery, or even stitches, a Muslim invented the tools that saved you. Al-Zahrawi, born in Cordoba in 936, the father of modern surgery. Europe's idea of surgery at the time was a barber with a knife. No anesthesia, no cleaning. Al-Zahrawi wrote a 30-volume encyclopedia of medicine. And in the last volume, he did something no one had ever done. He drew them, all of them, over 200 surgical instruments. He invented them himself. The scalpel, the forceps to pull a baby out safely, the syringe, the surgical needle, the thread made from catgut that dissolves inside your body. He invented it because he saw that musicians' strings dissolved. He invented the method to stitch a wound with hidden stitches so the scar would be smaller. And he insisted, before you cut a human, you must practice. He made students practice on dead animals and fruits. His book, Al-Tasrif, was taught in European universities for 500 years. For 500 years, if you were a surgeon in Europe, you were using a Muslim's tools from a Muslim's textbook. Look at any surgical tray today. You will see Al-Zahrawi's designs, unchanged for 1,000 years. Muslim invention. If you want more sieges, more conquerors, and more empires rising from the ashes of the fallen, subscribe and hit the bell. Which one shocked you the most? The coffee, the camera, or the surgery? Drop a comment telling me which one, and I read every single one. See you in the next one, where we take you through the man who tried to save a dying empire. So what happened to the House of Wisdom? In 1258, the Mongols sacked Baghdad. They threw so many books from the House of Wisdom into the Tigris River. The water ran black with ink for months. They thought they could drown knowledge. They were wrong, because ideas don't drown. The coffee you drank this morning, the camera you are being filmed on, the soap you washed with, the map that guides you, the tools that will save your life one day, none of them burned. They spread. To Europe, to the world, to you. While Europe was stumbling through the Dark Ages, somewhere else on Earth, an entirely different story was being written. And that story is inside your daily life, right now.